These 9 behaviors have been documented, confirmed, and studied. The explanation is still incomplete. Elephants have been observed returning to the bones of deceased individuals, including individuals they are not closely related to, and handling them with their trunks, carrying them short distances, and standing motionless near them for extended periods. This behavior occurs consistently across African and Asian elephants in both wild and captive settings. Elephants respond differently to elephant bones than to bones of other large animals, and differently to the bones of known individuals than to strangers. They show no equivalent response to the bones of other species of similar size or the same mass of other objects. The functional purpose, if any, of this interaction is unknown. Sperm whales sometimes rest vertically in the water column, motionless, in groups of up to a dozen individuals, noses pointing toward the surface, arrayed parallel to each other. This behavior, called logging, was first documented photographically in 2008 off the coast of Chile. Acoustic monitoring confirmed no vocalizations during these periods. Research published in Current Biology in 2008 proposed that this was sleep. What the whales are doing during this period neurologically, whether it constitutes REM sleep, the nature of any cognitive state, and why they adopt this precise configuration, is not known. A boat accidentally sailing into a resting group confirmed that they are extremely difficult to wake. Corvids, crows, ravens, rooks, and related species, have been observed gathering around the body of a recently dead member of their species, calling loudly, and then dispersing after a period of minutes. Multiple field studies have documented this behavior in American crows. When presented experimentally with a dead crow in a familiar location, crows responded by avoiding the area afterward for an extended period, longer than the avoidance response to a predator, and by returning with other crows to view the body. Whether this represents communication of hazard information, a social bonding response, or something without a currently adequate functional description is debated. The response is specific to dead crows. Dead birds of other species do not produce the same reaction. Humpback whales produce songs that consist of repeated sequences of sounds, lasting up to 20 minutes, that every male in a regional population sings in the same version simultaneously. These songs change incrementally across years. Each modification spreads through the entire population until all males sing the new version. Occasionally, a new song variant introduced from outside the population sweeps through within months, completely replacing the existing version, a pattern called a cultural revolution. The mechanism of transmission is unknown. Why the songs exist, what information they carry, and why all males converge on the same version at the same time, including males that have no acoustic contact with the innovating individual, remains unresolved. Portia spiders, Portia labiata, are small jumping spiders that predate other spiders, including species significantly larger than themselves. When confronted with a novel prey type never encountered before, Portia spiders have been observed spending hours motionless near the prey's web before attempting a specific new approach strategy. In controlled experiments, they are capable of solving detour problems, routes that require moving away from visible prey to access it from a different angle, without prior exposure to the specific spatial configuration. They retain memory of specific prey individuals and adjust their approach accordingly across multiple trials. What cognitive processes produce these outcomes in an animal with a brain the size of a sesame seed is not understood. Dolphins have been repeatedly documented carrying their dead calves at the surface for days or weeks after death. The behavior has been observed in at least 20 species across multiple ocean basins. Mothers have been filmed carrying decomposing calves while maintaining normal group movement, surfacing to breathe, and continuing social interactions. In some documented cases, the calf has been carried until it is no longer physically coherent. Whether this represents grieving, failure to recognize death, a maternal drive that persists past normal suppression, or something else has not been established. Other individuals in the group do not attempt to separate the mother from the calf. Army ants, Eciton burchellii, periodically build living structures from their own bodies, columns, bridges, and walls constructed from interlocked ants, to fill gaps in their trail or create shelters for the bivouac. These structures self-assemble and self-repair without any individual ant directing the overall form. They modify dynamically. Experiments inserting objects into army ant trails showed that ants disassembled and rebuilt bridge structures in real time to maintain optimized flow. Colonies of up to 700,000 individuals operate without a central planning mechanism. The queen produces no strategic instructions beyond reproduction. How the colony produces coordinated large-scale responses from local ant-to-ant interactions, and what prevents these structures from becoming unstable as they scale, is an active area of research. Migrating birds navigate using the Earth's magnetic field, detected by a mechanism that is still disputed. Two leading hypotheses are a chemical process in the eye involving a protein called cryptochrome that produces magnetically sensitive radical pairs when hit by light, and magnetite crystals in the beak or inner ear that respond physically to magnetic field direction. Both mechanisms may operate simultaneously in different species. What remains unexplained is the extreme precision of the navigation. Some species correct for magnetic declination, compensate for wind displacement in real time, and return to the same territory within meters across distances of thousands of kilometers. The information processing involved is not accounted for by either proposed sensory mechanism at the level of detail observed. Crows in urban Japan have been observed placing walnuts in traffic lanes at pedestrian crossings, waiting for cars to run over them, waiting for the light to turn red, then walking into the road to collect the cracked nuts. This behavior has been documented at multiple independent sites in different cities. It requires selecting a location where vehicles will reliably pass, placing the nut in the path, waiting for sufficient traffic, identifying the pedestrian crossing rather than an arbitrary road section, and waiting specifically for the red light. Each step requires anticipation of a future state. The behavior was first documented in the 1990s. It has since spread within crow populations at observed sites, suggesting social learning. Crows were not taught this. The origin individual at each site is unknown. 9 behaviors fully documented and not fully explained. Tomorrow's animal survived something that killed nearly everything else on Earth. This channel posts a new animal fact video every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.